Imagine this. You're out there flipping burgers on a lazy Sunday afternoon, the sun dipping low over the horizon, casting that golden glow across your spread of land, when suddenly these three clowns in knockoff uniforms come barreling up your driveway in a souped-up golf cart, flashing phony badges, barking orders about shutting down your whole operation, threatening to haul off your herd and slap you with fines that could bankrupt a small nation, all because they claim your family's legacy is some kind of neighborhood eyesore. That's the nightmare that slammed into my world without warning. And let me tell you, it hit hard, shaking the very foundation of everything I'd built, everything my grandpa had fought tooth and nail to secure after coming home from the war. Scarred but determined to carve out a piece of the American dream in Oak Ridge County, Arizona. I'm Ryan Caldwell, and these bogus enforcers from the so-called Homeowners Association were dead set on ripping apart the 50-acre spread that's been in my blood since 1955, when my grandfather cashed in his GI Bill to buy this dirt, turning it into a thriving cattle operation that pulls in close to 200 grand a year from folks who appreciate grass-fed beef raised with care, not chemicals. But these frauds, they didn't count on one crucial detail. My cousin Ethan Caldwell just happens to be the real-deal sheriff in this very county, the kind of lawman who doesn't take kindly to imposters playing dress-up while terrorizing honest folks. And oh boy, were they in for a rude awakening. The air was thick with the scent of charred wood from my grill mixing with the cheap exhaust from their ridiculous ride as they waved around these flimsy papers, demanding I cough up $2, $500 on the spot or kiss my cows goodbye, their voices dripping with that fake authority that makes your skin crawl, and all I could think was, who do these jokers think they are, storming onto my property like they own the place? What would you do if some power-tripping phonies tried to snatch away the heart of your life, the land that's not just dirt but memories, sweat, and the promise you made to your kids? Drop a comment below. Where are you tuning in from? And have you dealt with these overzealous HOA tyrants in your neck of the woods? Let me rewind a bit and lay it all out. Because this mess didn't erupt out of nowhere. It simmered, building like a storm on the horizon. This ranch is my lifeline, especially after the divorce hit me like a freight train, leaving me with weekend visits from my two teens who see this place as more than a farm. It's their future, their roots in a world that's quick to uproot everything real. 5 years back, trouble rolled in when some slick developer slapped up Willowbrook Meadows right next door, those cookie-cutter mansions starting at $500,000, complete with sparkling pools and residents who whine of actual farming. And that's when Eleanor Hargrove entered the scene, a 55-year-old property mogul from Phoenix with the charm of a tax collector on a bad day, always toting her sleek binder like it held the keys to the kingdom, cruising in a gleaming black SUV that screamed city slicker afraid of a little mud. The first time she strutted onto my gravel path, her high heels sinking like daggers into the earth, her overpowering scent of synthetic blooms clashing with the earthy aroma of hay and hard work that defines this life, making my animals fidget and my head ache, she thrust a fancy notice into my weathered palms, declaring my setup violated their precious guidelines, claiming some twisted logic about overlapping utility lines giving her crew dominion over my grandfather's land. According to her made-up manifesto, my vintage 1990 tractor was an ugly blight, my cows were offending delicate noses with their natural essence, and even the classic fencing from the 50s was deemed outdated junk. But I kept my cool, pulling out the old deeds and maps, explaining how we'd been here long before her fancy enclave was even a blueprint in some boardroom. That's when her polished grin turned shark-like, her words slithering out smooth and cold. Times shift, Mr. Caldwell, neighborhoods progress, and those who resist, well, they often find the pressure unbearable. I'd loathe to watch you forfeit it all over outdated stubbornness. And in that moment, the chill ran down my spine, realizing this wasn't about rules. It was a shakedown, pure and simple. With her slapping on $600 daily penalties for every phantom infraction she dreamed up, adding up to more than my yearly take if I let it slide. A buddy in real estate tipped me off soon after, Ryan. Heads up, someone's parading buyers around your acres like it's already theirs. Big plans brewing. And it clicked. Eleanor wasn't fixing problems. She was engineering a collapse to swoop in and grab it cheap. That night, under the stars with my herd murmuring softly, my grandpa's words echoed in my mind. Boy, predators bank on decent folks wearing down before the fight's done. The second you quit swinging is when you hand over what's sacred. And right then, staring at the legacy he'd built from battlefield scars, I knew she picked the wrong clan to mess with, her assuming I was some backwoods pushover who'd fold under paperwork and intimidation. Oh no, we'd guarded this soil for generations, and if push came to shove, we knew how to push back hard. 2 weeks later, she upped the ante with what can only be called a laughable invasion, hiring this outfit called Neighborhood Patrol Services, 3 posers in ill-fitting outfits zipping around in tricked-out carts, like they were elite forces instead of bothering a guy tending his land. The boss was Derek Malone, a 40-year-old ex-security guard with a chip on his shoulder bigger than his gut, his synthetic their certification from a quickie online scam, and I recalled my relative's brush with the law for similar antics, knowing in Arizona, faking officer status could land you serious time and hefty fines. Instead of blowing up, I played it smart, letting them dig deeper while I recorded discreetly, cameras rolling on the edges, notes time-stamped meticulously, turning their farce into my arsenal. That day, I chatted up Willowbrook folks, learning Eleanor was soaking the association for $60 grand yearly on protection that boiled down to these goofs circling aimlessly, leaving residents feeling fleeced. Mrs. Thompson, the 83-year-old former educator, whispered fiercely by her postbox, "That lady's billing us for ghosts while bullying good neighbors. And plenty are boiling over her games." The next dawn brought pure slapstick escalation, Derek showing up with a tow chain, dead serious about hauling my hefty tractor with his puny cart. Minutes later, Eleanor's immaculate ride pulled up for cleanup, her staying glued to the seat, yelling directions through the glass. "Too prissy for real earth. This isn't finished, Caldwell. We know people who'll make your days hell." And I shot back casually, eager to meet him, all while my lens captured every syllable. As twilight faded, the odors of fuel and filth, replaced by comforting straw and settling beasts, each blunder they made strengthened my dossier. Knowing in Arizona, this wasn't petty squabbles, but felonies ripe for prosecution. Week 3 saw her go nuclear, sicking every agency on me like a bureaucratic blitz, her creativity wasted on evil when it could have built something legit. A pounding at my door heralded a sheepish health official, clipboard quivering. "Sorry, Mr. Caldwell, but reports of unsafe processing tainting wells demand a look." The forms reeking of Eleanor's jargon, pure lies about pollution that never was. By lunch, environmental testers swarmed with gear fancier than my rig. Afternoon brought border agents grilling for phantom staff papers, the sterile whiff of official sprays mingling with engine exhaust, spooking my animals. My table buried under reams of demands from agriculture folks for shots records to quality commissions for usage logs, each sheet heavy with ruins potential. That night, amid yet another probe call, fury turned to focus, digging into her history, uncovering she'd pulled this on 4 other spreads, Mrs. Jenkins folding her pony farm after endless bogus hits, the Lopez clan ditching their produce gig under fake fines that tests debunked, same script, same setups, ending in cut-rate sales to her. Smartening up, I requested public records on all gripes against me, spotting her slip, identical phrasing in batches, filed identically, reeking of her style, and here, falsifying official docs is heavy crime, years behind bars possible. Tuesday delivered an unexpected boost. Margaret Ellis, 63-year-old ex-legal aid from adjoining land, arriving with a fat file. "Mr. Caldwell, I've tracked their moves on you, and together, we can crush them." Spreading proof of Eleanor's trick, using association stamps to bogus emergencies that force probes, draining public coffers. That's taxpayer scam on top of torment. Then, during another inspection, the official confided, "These are synced hits, same source, same slots, peak at timestamps, all Monday mornings at 8:47 sharp, like automated malice." My girl rang from class, trembling. "Dad, rumors say feds raid our place. Are you bad?" The stab of that innocence pierced deep, Eleanor tainting not just my work, but my kids' trust in me. Rather than lash out, I fed her ego, acting cowed while stacking proof. Margaret urging we rope in her kin Nathan Reed, HOA scam expert, But evidence first. One voice whines. Many roar conspiracy. Weekend inspections crawling my grounds. It dawned on me. Her frenzy showed cracks, not control. Each overreach a gift for justice. Week 4 amped to media lynching. Her calling a crisis assembly on my supposed hazards. Flyers stirring fake panic with altered snaps. Neighbors' steeds as my rampaging herd. Ditch water as toxic spills. Tools lit like arsenal. Chopper blades thumped announcing Channel 9's descent. Treating it like apocalypse. And through my pain, I saw Eleanor directing from her safe perch. Emoting for lenses like a pro. This individual's callous risk has crossed lines. Voice blending power. And whoa, we've logged threats to kids and wells. Now suing to shield innocence. Unbeknownst, my cams nabbed her staging crew shifting barriers, smearing filth, spiking pools for proof. Then her blunder. We're invoking emergency powers to take this threat for safety, but no association wields that. Pure government turf. Fraud broadcast live. Reporter probed, what's your legal basis? The Willowbrook Emergency Safeguard Law empowers us in crises. She flashed a prop doc, and I nearly spat my brew. No such beast exists, invented on air. Margaret's call buzzed with glee. The association's charter? Bogus, never filed proper. All their acts criminal theft over years. Backlash brewed. 3 residents at my stoop. Ashamed and livid. Mark Sullivan, ex-first responder. Leading, Caldwell. Sorry, neighborhood sick of her hikes and hysterics. Emily Carter, healthcare worker adding. She grilled my girl on your shady nights. That's unhinged. Eleanor's creepiness. Peaked, lurking borders at odd hours. Gazing like a stalker, crossing into obsession. The snap came with my ex's call, strained. Ryan, news paints you risky, maybe hold visits till cleared. What risks? Agencies probe you, can endanger the kids. That gutted me, her lies severing family ties with crafted dread. But I hoarded every falsehood for the kill, my sis hinting from Tucson. Ethan's seen the buzz, wondering why no call. Time to mend fences. Ethan Caldwell, county sheriff, ex-state trooper, estranged over dad's wake spat. Silly rifle claim, but pride lingers. As Rotor's word and sense blended, this transcended ego, stopping a menace before more shattered. Thursday's dig flipped it, unearthing 1955 easement barring future residential grip on farms. Forever, her authority forged trash, but deeper. Tax logs showed her claiming my acres for years via squatter lies, not harassing, thieving systematically. Financials exposed racket, $140. 000 skimmed from outsiders, forcing sales to her linked devs for millions in flips. Nathan rang with nukes. Cross-checks tie her to coerced deals, organized land grabs. My sis pressed. Ethan's probing fake cops already. Your name pops. He's worried. Weed paralleled hunts, divided by foolishness. Moral math cleared, her tallying felonies, enabling ruin. 11 families hit, some. Bullies thrive on fatigue, but truth endures. Swallowing ego, I dialed Ethan, hands quaking. Ryan? Relief mixed shock. Been waiting. You mean the imposters hitting ranchers? Steel-edged in. Investigating months, your case central. 2 hours mended years, his probes mirroring mine, pride the only wall. Bring proof, if scope's true, prison decades await. Monday strategy huddle at Nathan's. Firm felt epic, table swamped with 5 years fraud, 900 pics, 25 hours tape, trails proving theft across counties, coffee sharp with print ink as Nathan mapped assault. Charges, suits, complaints. Exposure. Ethan scanned with ranger grit. This empire's slickest I've chased, disguised as oversight. Damages tallied $140,000 fees, $50,000 costs, $95,000 lost sales, over $450,000 total to crush her. Margaret rallied 12 victims, turning vendetta communal. Mrs. Jenkins on war and spread, Lopez on community feeders. Nathan tipped, demand filings fast, frauds dodge. Ethan, verified badges always. Real badges comply. Cams upgraded to pro, Laura Bennett reporter looped for bombshells. Margaret coached calm, deny ammo. Support swelled, commissioners griped, lawmakers drafting shields. Feds eyeing resource abuse. Timeline, 30 days yield or bust. No mercy for preying on weak like Mrs. Thompson, war widow, or single mom smeared. Eve before demand. Ethan and I shared drinks. Mending fully, family over ego. Tomorrow, mercy chance, then unleash. Tuesday dawned vicious, her sensing doom, opting sabotage over subtlety, tanks shotgunned, poisoned with oils lethal to my herd. Feed locked and gassed for inferno. Cams nailed Derek's crew at 2:47. Faces lit, felonies clear. Complaints filed pre-dawn, deputies swarmed seriously, kin tie prioritizing. But she countered with bogus restraint, claiming tractor threats, hearing laced with paid lies of menace. Judge Ramirez dubious, but temp-granting. Outraged, she mailed terror notes on sham paper, warning complicity in terrorism, cruelest to Mrs. Jenkins, threatening vet benefits. Then kids hit. Ex weeping over fake child services alerts on hazards, snatching visits with forged docs. Gut-wrenching. Her fraud-stealing bonds. Thursday bribe via proxy, $160,000 to vanish and wave. Refusal met accidents happen, stubborn folks suffer. Friday twist. Her PI Jack Harlan flipped, can't fabricate. Handing $16,000 check for plants, drugs, violence fakes, plus tapes of her plotting ruin. Ethan pounced. That's 20 years worth. Game over. As patrols circled and winds carried beast calls. Certainty bloomed, self-doomed. Monday piqued her psyche war, summit on my threats, invites to brass and press, slides faking outbreaks, actors as experts. Masterstroke, stage stampede into home, $14,000 wreck, elders traumatized on cue. News swift, Eleanor emoting devastation, headlines scorching me, rogue beasts, negligent terror. Threats poured, isolation bit, neighbors shunned. Biz tanked $45,000, insurance probed, banks wary. Agencies piled, Enviro, AG, safety, security, costs bleeding me. X rang on kid probes for biohazards, near sanity snap. Her scheme isolated utterly. But Ethan's shadows uncovered network spans. Saturday, as choppers hovered, protesters raged. He called, tomorrow's not yours alone. Feds join. Her empire draws big eyes. Sunday air crackled like. Before a storm, the packed hall buzzing with 450 souls squeezed in. Media rigs encircling like predators. Tension thick as Commissioner Hayes banged order. Here for alleged farm perils demanding action, and Eleanor owned the podium like a courtroom queen. Slides slamming fakes. Reports invented. Witnesses coached. For too long we've begged compliance. Her tone victim authority blend. But when elders cower from beasts and kids risk streets, inaction kills. Murmurs swelled as she flashed attack. Pics. Emily Carter sobbing scripted fear. This transcends rights. It's shielding from farm terror. I urge seizure now ere death strikes. Commissioner, hold decrees. View this first. Ethan's command cut sharp. Ranger weight silencing all as he strode. Info vital? Plenty. Proof of elite. Fraud ring. Tapes of every setup. Hush fell suffocating as he hooked tech. Footage rolling Derek slicing wire 11:43. Crew herding spooked herd with noise into paid safe. Victims yard. Folks, all here's stage scam for land theft via terror. Ethan boomed. Gasps rippling. Eleanor's pallor ghostly. These lies from crooks dodging. Quiet. Ma'am, while facts roll. Exhibits crushed. $360,000 embezzled. Bribe calls. Fed ties to rural grabs. Not safety. Crime empire stealing legacies. Mood quaked to fury. For 150 awakening to manipulation. Tools in her theft. Laura struck fatal. Sheriff. This meat aids theft? Precisely. Under Fed probe for frauds galore. Conspiracy. Impersonation. False filings. Property heists. Pandemonium erupted. Arrest cries. Press surge. Eleanor's statue still as. Empire crumbled live. I rose to Mike. Hush instant on the terrorist. Revealed weary defender. What this taught. Predators bet on exhaustion. Fear. Broke spirits quitting, but threatening kids. Future. Weaponizing lies on kin. You log each sin. Hoard threats. Trust truth topples evil organized. Cheers thundered buildings shaking as justice triumphed. Hayes quavered. Complaints dropped. Feds take crimes. Cuffs snapped. Her terror done. 6 months on. Payback sweeter than home pie. Eleanor nailed 25 felonies, 17 years locked, plus $1.4 million repay. Derek's squad 2 years each for fakes and wreck. Class suit for 52 families netted $3.2 million. Every cent back, plus warnings wide. Willowbrook revamped under Mark Sullivan. Axing harass. Fees have sand scams. My biz boomed. 500%. Hero status drawing national orders. Hiring for. Scaling up. Kids glow proud. Pals touring. Ex sorry for doubt. Manipulations grip. Ethan and I solid. Monthly toasts plotting safeguards. Nathan's firm tackles 140 cases multi-state, mentoring victims. County ordinance verifies complaints, penalizes fakes, audits outsiders. State Act shields farms, unanimous post our proof. Our methods model beating scams. Proudest, legacy fund from winnings, $280,000 to 72 AG kids for studies preserving roots. Bought 40 more acres, shielding 90 for grandkids, habitat boosts. Reflected, from defending patch to guarding all families' peace from clipboard tyrants. The lesson sticks. Check association docs via county, log from start, persistence crushes deceit. And now, think on this. Was her downfall pure justice, or does such payback skirt vengeance's edge? Where do we draw lines on fighting fire with fire, especially when family's at stake? Share your takes below. On right, wrong, ethics and standing ground.